Hello my friend, it's Kuumeyaay or Calling Tarot here on YouTube. My pronouns are they, them, and I am going to pull you into this relaxing space for the next, let's say 20 minutes, and I hope that you receive this divine energy that I am intending to bring your way. So I just want you to begin to breathe deeply, filling up your belly space, maybe feeling this energy rise into the heart, and breathe out if you haven't already. And I'm just going to start sweeping through your aura, starting at the crown chakra, moving down through the third eye, down through the throat and the heart, through the solar plexus and the sacral, through the root and down to your feet, just brushing any loose energy to begin with away. And I just saw 111 on the timer, so maybe that is confirmation of the presence of your angels in your life. Just breathe out, imagining this release. I'm going to start by spritzing your aura. This is supposed to be a cleaning bottle, but I filled it with some rosemary water. I don't know if it's making the noise I exactly wanted it to, so just going to use this to cleanse your aura. Smoothing that through your aura. I'm going to get a little bit more behind you because I feel like you need to spritz that subconscious area, anything that's been at the back of your mind. And I'm feeling a deeper intention begin to emerge from your spirit guides. And this is one that's coming from the heart space. And so I'm just going to gently draw these emotions that are calling this experience forward, out through the center of the heart. But while I do that, I'm going to tell you what they're telling me. And they're saying that it's time to not see yourself as a victim anymore, whether that be a victim of your circumstances or a victim of your own mind, a victim of pain, a victim of the world, a victim to others. So I'm just pulling these emotions and gently guiding them as well. Just encouraging you to breathe. I'm really drawn to use these crystals that I have here. I want to bring this ammonite through and use it in your third eye to call forth and allow you to see within your mind's eye who you want to be, who you've been, what others are in your life, and what the patterns in your life are telling you about how you viewed yourself, maybe how being a victim has been part of your ego, how you've made a sense of safety in the world, how you've resonated with other people in your life. And I actually want to use the back too, because it has some opalized forms. Just sending in this cosmic wisdom, allowing you to ride the staircase, ride that spiral into your true north. And for a good majority of you, I can bet being a victim is not part of that true north. So, sorry I focus. I don't know. Releasing doubt about yourself, releasing shame around who you truly are, and just sending that out lovingly the way that this opalized ammonite refracts and reflects the light. Shining that light not only around you but within. And I think I have a great crystal that can support us in this. So just using this selenite, and I'm going to use it to reflect some lunar rays through that top part of your head, bringing that energy through your whole body, like a spotlight or a searchlight, finding anything within you that needs to be illuminated. We have a little bird friend joining us, confirming this. And I'm going to bring this down to the root to gently open up any of those patterns, any of those cycles that you've been writing. Now that we've brought that ammonite through, because the ammonite in that swirl pattern allows us to understand the ways that we revisit certain things in our lives. And allowing you to be honest about your balance, about what you need to maybe address or reflect upon. Just bringing lots of love and gentle guidance to be connected to these spaces. I feel like we're needing a bit more aggressive action, not in a negative way, but just in a way that is going to be more tactile. I hope that the background noises don't bother you, but I'm going to be using this beautiful pink amethyst that can deflect any negative energy that you've been holding on to. It can also help to reprogram any areas of our energy or consciousness that need a bit more beauty. Maybe they need a bit more trust. And just combing through the aura, pulling out gently any bits of your energy. You need to be loosened. You need to be reminded that they don't have to be stagnant. Any parts of you that need to remember your power, your beauty, how much you can do, how many choices you do have. Because often when we feel like we're a victim, it's because we've given into this idea that we're powerless, or someone wanted to make us feel like we're powerless. And it's interesting, as I'm holding this, I just pushed a few of the crystal clusters on the edge kind of off, so this crystal must be taking in some of this for you. Just allowing anything that wants to be released from the body or the energy field. Hopefully my dogs aren't annoying you. So I'm going to move into the final few. I wanted to bring together two kind of opposites because they are complementary colors. The deep red of the garnet and the nice green of the prehnite with the epidote. And I'm actually going to tumble these together. Calling in your power to transmute any pain. When we're talking about victimhood, it's not as simple as just reminding yourself that you're not a victim. It's about living that experience where you can prioritize your own safety, know yourself, advocate for yourself, but also know better than to put yourself into certain situations that are going to exacerbate suffering, or allowing yourself to experience the pain of life maybe with a thicker skin, or seeking out the lesson rather than holding yourself back. I hope I'm articulating these things correctly, and I know I'm not going to have a completely comprehensive wordage of this, but I hope that the energy is clear and representational. It's Mercury retrograde, so my speech is a little not where I'd like it to be, but representational of this energy of empowerment. I'm just bringing this around the back of you, back behind the causal chakra at the base of the skull, bringing in the wisdom, the guidance, activating and pulling up your own wisdom and guidance from the earth, helping you to connect with this energy of being your own healer, knowing how to heal yourself using tools, using different therapy forms, disciplines as well, knowing how to be there for yourself in the way that you need. This is often how we remind ourselves that we're not victims. We move into these helper roles. We remind others that they're not victims either when we are solution oriented. When we know how to make our own choices, trust those choices. I found some wild chamomile today, and chamomile is for soothing, for dealing and coping with stress. So I want to bring this through the aura, just cleanse out, detoxify, centralize, ground, center, align all of the major chakra points. Especially focusing on that root area, on any traumatic behavior patterns that are rooted not in a place of love for self, but in a place of fear of the outside world, or fear of our own power, fear of our own ability, fear of the discipline it might take to not see ourselves as a victim. Sometimes we hang on to these things to protect ourselves from having to feel pain. So just going around the back, reminding you to breathe deep. This is some deeper aura work than I expected we were going to be doing today. But this chamomile brings in the laughter, the joy, the reminder that stress relief is often found in those simple moments, in the simplicity, the things that we sometimes overlook. This chamomile is actually sometimes considered a weed by most people. It's a very small plant. You can see it's only this far off the ground. But it's a powerful medicine and an ancient healer. So right in underneath our noses. And it has a cute little smell, kind of like pineapple. It's very sweet. And to me, they look like fairy caps. So reminding you that imagination and exploration, slowing down, paying attention, that's really going to help you move through this experience of releasing your victimhood. And remembering that there are so many opportunities for life everywhere if you just take a few moments to look. I'm going to bring some sacred smoke through your aura. These candles behind me are dripping quite a bit. They look like they're close to the tree, but I promise they're not. I don't want to set any fires today. Especially since I'm on vacation. But I really wanted to do this for us together because because when I bring this energy through, it does affect me as well. So I thank you for being here with me through this. Bringing this through the heart space, the cedar. This is ethically sourced. I bundled this myself. And I personally like to use this when I'm in a state of being or feeling kind of vulnerable, but also when I'm wanting to empower myself and remember that I am strong. The cedar tree is sometimes referred to as the world tree, and it reminds us of those principles and qualities of the world tree. It also reminds us of the importance of stillness, of silence, of strength, of calling on an inner reserve, and being sovereign. I'm being called to tell you that you have so many guides, so many beings, so many new people, so many souls that need you, that feel your presence and are warmed by your presence, that benefit from your perspective, from your uniqueness, that you don't have to be this ideal or this perfect, because that doesn't even exist, version. You can just be yourself. The right people will love you exactly as you are. Just setting this intention as the smoke rises away, that your old energy, that your traumas, leave with them. Or with the smoke. So, sorry I had to go tend to my dog. But I have one last tool I want to use with you. And I really love how the sun started glowing in the last minute. So just bringing through this solar energy, smoothing it into your aura, bringing in some Reiki symbols to align all of your energy fields, to help bring you into a deeper state of peace when you're at your most balanced version of yourself. Bringing the power of the light energy and the dark energies, helping them to balance within your aura. And I'm using this golden healer quartz to really funnel in that solar energy to help you to know that the source of the universe loves you. The source of the universe wants to see you thrive, that you can trust in these unseen energies, that you can feel this peace integrating into your life, however you're at right now, to recognize, know, understand, and experience that you are not a victim, and that you can access these deeper places in yourself that need your healing, that you can heal yourself, and that you can find what you need and be supported in any stage of life, no matter the circumstances. So, I'm going to bring through, I have these sand dollars that I collected when I was a lot younger. I think they were at one time black sand dollars when they were alive. And they still have sand shaking out of them, but I'd really like to use this as like a rattle. Maybe use a second one as well that has, this one's not too good in noise. This one has better noise. So I'm going to use these two. Shake in this magic of the earth. This magic of your ancestors who are not victims either. That strength. Calling upon this beautiful energy that you can touch on within yourself that gives you permission to rest as well, because sometimes when you're in that victim mode, it feels like you have to kind of earn your way out from these like paradigms of lack that exist on the earth. just bringing in this creative energy too. Helping you to recognize that there's so much beauty, because that's really what creative energies do for us. They help us to find that power. It's honestly making me really happy doing this. So I hope you're feeling this joy and that we can share it. Okay. I'm going to show you the faces of the sand dollars. Look how beautiful they are. Reminding you that even on the very edges of the ocean, that love is still accessible to us. I'm close to the ocean right now, so going to her has been so healing for me. Feeling that expansiveness of being at the sea, the breeze, the ecosystem, how much life comes from the ocean, how much of our Earth's memory is in the ocean. Yeah, it's a truly special thing. So helping you to activate those memories within you and to find the absolute incredible joy of being able to be alive and experience such extremes. So now I can't go too much longer because my candles are going to get to a point where I don't want them to be. And I am feeling like our energy has shifted quite a bit in this session. The energy in this space has really elevated. And now that we've done this, and now that we're in this protected auric field, I want to guide you into a bit of a breath work and a visualization meditation so that we can pull a card and get a message from our guides about this Reiki session, and then I can do any supplemental work in your field that needs to be done to seal off and close off this energy session. So I want you to, again, breathe deep down into the belly. Feel yourself grounding into your legs, into the base of your torso, and feel your spine in each spot that it connects, where one portion meets another. Feel any pain throughout this central column being released, any nervousness, any tension that's in the nervous system that is connected to the spinal cord, releasing and being sent down into the earth in order to ground you and in order to open that empathic giving and receiving exchange between you and the earth. Imagine your auric field and the immediate area surrounding your body turning a nice metallic silver as to mirror anything back that is not yours to carry, and to put you into a state of flow, not so, what's the word? Opaque, sorry, that it shields you away from others, but nicely transparent so that you can still see and touch the world, but from a place of not absorbing everything. And so this barrier field is protective, but it also has respect for your free will. So anything you decide to invite in consciously, you can invite it in, but you're not going to accidentally, subconsciously pull anything in that you would not want or that you cannot handle, because we do need to, not numb ourselves to pain, but get into a place that's strong enough that we can still touch those things that bring us pain, and learn a lesson from it without closing off our empathy. So that's what this barrier is meant to do. And now that you're grounded and your energy is protected and cleansed, I'm going to pull a card for you. The Spirit Keeper's Tarot. We have the Demiurge, which is the Four of Scepters. And I'm feeling called to read from the guidebook rather than just give an intuitive message, because that's not quite the space I'm in energetically right now, even though I am pretty easily pulled into channeling. But let's see. I want to get this first because the guides are saying they're wanting me to read. flipped almost right to the page, so I'm feeling like that's aligned. This is Venus in Aries, and at the time that I'm filming this, there's quite a lot of Aries energy in the collective, and we're having that Mercury retrograde in Aries, so there's a lot going on with this sign. The demiurge builds on our physical platform of success. An intangible idea has become a tangible work product, one that will take, flip the page, on a life of its own. The demiurge marks progress, achievement attained, and marks a momentous rite of passage. The setting is the Holy Roman Empire in the early 14th century, the start of Renaissance humanism, and just before the Great Occidental Schism of 1378. The maiden on the left is peace and faith. The maiden on the right is war and will, an omen of concord, fulfillment, completion. And I really feel like this is so synchronistic with the rest of the energy work. It's showing that there's some victory. This is honestly a portal that you found, so congratulations for being able to be here with me as we release this paradigm of victimhood, and we also then release others of having the power of being in the paradigm of abuser. So we're taking on a new paradigm. I like that one of the maidens is war and will. So there's something here about our own willpower, our own ability to see our power despite circumstances, to remain in contact with that at a base level, having that as a foundation to work upon that, like this says, has a mind of its own. There's something that's been built, fortified within your energy that is prosperous, that has the potential to go far spiritually. And by basking in this light energy at the moment, receiving from spirit and allowing yourself to raise your vibration continually and release these patterns that want to pull you down into this lower vibrational energy, you are able to become like the demiurge. The demiurge is, I believe, somebody who's like partially experiencing the life force of God, I would say, or the life force of the goddess, however you want to put it. I think those binary terms are silly, but you know what I mean, and it's a unified energy. This card is about alchemical union, and there is something that you're alchemizing in your life, because I'm seeing this as like the alchemical marriage. And being in the suit of scepters, this is, again, scepters is, you know, a wand. If you touch your wand to something, it directs your power, your magic onto that thing. It casts a spell. So whatever you're saying at this time, however you're conceptualizing your life, use your words in a very meaningful way, because your words are priming your energy through this portal and being something that your guides can receive and respond to, because they represent consent with the universe in this creative process. So I think that's why we ended on bringing in this creative energy, because there's something here about stepping into creative power, finding that divine union within the self, and being able to not only alchemically, because I don't want to just use magical terms, I'm talking about like the psychology side of alchemy, where it's like you are facing these constructs, these relationships, these patterns of the ego, understanding your concept of self, and also understanding the ego's response to the egos of others too, and releasing them from the shackles of holding them to a fixed ego, allowing people to evolve, allowing yourself to evolve as well, bringing in that joy, like I said, this play that comes with having a stable foundation. When you have everything accounted for in your life, where you have that trust and that sense of knowing that you have that space to rest, that place to restore yourself, that place to recharge, this is when you can move through the healing faster. So for a lot of you, you're being called into receiving that foundation in your life. If things have been really unstable, or you haven't been able to feel comfortable or secure in your environment, for some of you, this is like even though everything seems like it's stable or secure in your environment, there's some emotional thing that hasn't been stable and secure within you, and so that's like disrupting. It doesn't really matter like where you are, but you just have been feeling like disrupted within, and there's something where, because of your dedication either to your spirituality, some of you, I feel like you're finding this after really intense therapy that you've been doing, like talk therapy, or even others of you I'm seeing like using like the gym as therapy, or going out in nature, like doing something, moving your body that has become kind of ritualistic. But whatever it is, the rituals you've been doing, the repeated showing up and in that kind of Saturn energy is really helping you to get to this state of prosperity, this state of being able to understand and overcome competition within that feeling of money, the feeling of beauty, the feeling of all those Venusian type things with that Venus and Aries. It's like coming into a more innocent place when it comes to being able to receive what you want from the universe as well, and being in like these loving, compassionate, again, like things of exchange, because when Venus is in Aries, it's purifying and bringing us into a place of more childlike wonder and observation in the ways that we place value on others, on ourselves, and on the things around us that we enjoy and indulge in. So this is positive, and I feel like there's something here too about overcoming the things that feel like they want to sabotage our experience of happiness, our experience of beauty, of love, and devotion, the way that Venus shows us. So, yeah, that was beautiful. I want to see if there's any final message for you, my beautiful collective who's still here with me. We got another Aries energy, Two of Scepters, the discerning one. So yes, continue to keep your heart open and use your heart as your guide to discern what I'm hearing, like pick your battles, like which I think I've been saying this in certain videos recently, and that's not a phrase I usually use, so someone's guide has been wanting to deliver this message repeatedly because maybe it's not sinking in, but using that discernment, using your ability to make choices as something that feels freeing rather than something that you feel commanded by. And I feel like this paradigm of the victim also takes you from being like in a soldier energy where, you know, you're under a command, you're sworn to oath, you need to have loyalties. You're moving from that into a place of being in your own command, because there's like a hand coming from the viewer grasping and choosing this one scepter that's higher up, that reaches more towards the heavens, that allows for you to have a spiritually sovereign power, that even if, you know, when you take on that responsibility, if you make a decision that is not in alignment, you take on the accountability for receiving the consequences of the action, as well as taking on the benefits of the investment that you're creating as well. So I'm going to read from the guidebook and then I'm going to close this out. Sorry, I was just feeling like we needed a second card. Okay. Determine your boundaries and define the scope of your own dominion. This is a moment for you to map out your ambition. Exercise discernment before you proceed any further on this path you've chosen. Look out to the horizon and ascertain whether this is the sea you want to embark from. Decide, do you want the kingdom or do you want an empire? To achieve greatness, venture far from what you once knew. You will surpass the past and triumph when you choose courage to tread the unknown. The divinity featured in the upper third to the left is Guan Yu, or Guan Gong, the Taoist Buddhist god of war, martial arts, and military strategy. And while I'm reading this, the guides were giving me an indication of where I need to go for the final portion of this energy session. We're going to go into the solar plexus, and we are going to bring a divine light and that goddess spiral into the solar plexus to just release it. I'm imagining like a golden rope swirling light energy, and we have green parakeets, so parrots as our little helpers in this. So enabling you to use your voice, be confident, make your decisions, and also know when to ask for help, you know. That solar plexus is the way that we also connect and create like community relationships, right? So you don't have to do everything alone. If this idea of courage is triggering you, or that paragraph that I was reading, if it was triggering you about invoking your own power, this is going to, the energy I'm doing right now is releasing you and allowing you to be more receptive to your own personal power, moving away any blockages that might be there for you to experience your own personal power. And I'm pulling this down into the root now, helping to illuminate the root chakra down into the earth star chakra, so that that cosmic purpose, that earthy purpose, both of them can align, that those yin and yang energies in the body, in the subtle realms of the way that the body's consciousness works, can come together and can bring in this sense of personal power if it's been running on a track of trauma response, you know, bringing you back into this balance, so that, you know, if you have stomach issues from the amount of anxiety you were dealing with, if you have, you know, like certain muscle responses to emotions like anger, holding things back, just releasing, and I'm feeling all the way up on like the sides right here, so just releasing that. I'm going to do a final little spray of your aura, which is rosemary water, and inviting you to breathe deep and come along with me for this thank you. So thank you to the guides that have brought us together, that have brought us into this healing space. Thank you to every other force in the universe that brought us together today for this energy arts Reiki style session. I am so very grateful for you as a practitioner and as a fellow spiritual person on this journey together in the same world. I'm sending you so much love, sending you your energy back and calling my energy back to you, severing our connection today and closing the ritual. Thank you, my friend, and I'll see you again.